Joining me in studio to talk about HALOS or Help After Loss, board member Becky Komorowski and executive director Joyce Humphrey. Hello, ladies. How are you today?
Hello.
Great. Hi. Nice to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining me. So for people that might not know about HALOS, can you kind of tell me how this all got started? Just tell me how you guys got started.
Back in 1993, we had some personal loss in our family, and there was no support that we could find locally to help. And 7 years later, I started HALOS to do that very thing, help families that have experienced loss.
All right. And can you tell me some of the things that you do in the organization, some of the things that you do for people that might be grieving or need that help?
Yes. I'm grief certified, so I do book studies through the Grief Recovery Institute with adults, and I also meet with children. We have an amazing sensory room at the building that was designed to help individuals that have experienced trauma, because we store trauma in our bodies, so we need to involve and incorporate the senses to help us get that out. And I go into 2 schools to work with children at schools.
Okay. You know, I experienced loss too. I lost my mother 2 years ago, and it was so nice to have organizations like your guys's, because it really helps and for someone to be there when you feel like no one is.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you, what makes HALOS really stand out from other organizations? Since you guys have been around for some time now.
We have. We stand out in Afton because we are housed in the former Great American, and it was gutted, and then it has been redone totally, except for maybe one little section, and we call it the hub. It is the hub. So we bring in parties if they'd like to come in. We have an art and wellness program, which is wonderful. We do weekly, monthly, and it's on a grant. We house in the back of our building. We have a woodworking shop of a local gentleman and his crew who have done wonderful work. So people can come and shop, and they can come in and see our programs. I've done blood pressure screenings in the community room. There's many things that go on. We're just busy.
Yeah, no, that's good too. And it sounds like a really welcoming center. And I want to ask you have some events coming up, if you'd like to share some things coming up this summer or very soon.
Oh, we do. We've got a ton of things.
Hit me.
Our biggest event right now is an open house that we're having. We're going to have a press conference in the morning on May 28th, and at the open house will be from 3 to 6. In the evening, and lots of snacks, and we take tours around. You'll see our beautiful sensory room, which is really unique, an special art room, the community room. We have 4 bathrooms in our building now, so it's going to be a big event, I believe.
Okay.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, and I hope people come out to the open house. It sounds like an awesome thing to see everything that you guys are talking about. Really, sometimes you have to see to believe it.
Yes.
And then when I was on your website, I saw a lot of photos of different events like in the summer, and just a lot of people coming out and having fun. So if you want to shout out some of those events as well.
Well, we work with a lot of children, and we have on June 14th, and every year we have a Camp Hugs, which is a grief camp, and we have the kids. This is at the
Music Fest.
At the Music Fest last year.
Okay.
That we had a big tent that we ran. Lots of games and stuff to do, arts and crafts, and just fun stuff.
Yeah. So tell me about the camp too, how that runs and where it is.
It's right at the hub.
Okay.
And the child just has to, they come because they've had a loss, so they've experienced some kind of loss. Our definition of loss is different than some might think. It's not just about death. Terminal illness, deployment, incarceration, fire, flood, all those things are losses.
Divorce.
And so we help with that.
Okay. And I want to ask too, this is something that can be really hard to talk about. So do you have any recommendations of maybe first steps that you could tell people if they are watching? Because that is really the biggest thing, is that first step to try to get
There
help.
are books.
Yeah, I think we have some really good books posted on our website. I think the hardest that I've encountered talking to parents is just because they ask me, what do I say to my kiddo? And sometimes you just have to break it down, look at the developmental stage that the child is at, their age, and then just explain to them what is age appropriate for them to know.
Yeah,
And
of course.
sometimes that feels foreign to us as adults because we might say things like, you know, dead means you don't see anymore, or you don't eat anymore. You know, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know, I was at school just 2 weeks ago, and I had a 6-year-old ask me what happened to the food that his dad ate before his dad had his accidental death. And I thought, that's very nice to have a place that's safe enough where kids can ask those kinds of questions and not feel like I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, yeah,
You
of
know.
course.
And then when Mom joined the group, I just told her what he had said, and then got Mom on board with, you know, and she told him what he'd eaten, and he was fine with it. And Mom said, do you have any more questions? No?
No, that's awesome, because yeah, it's hard for kids to understand. Really, anyone, sometimes it's hard to understand, and then you got to ask those questions
Yeah.
sometimes. So if people might be experiencing something and they want to get a hold of you guys or find more information, how can they go about doing so?
We have a website. I
We
would
do.
go send them to right away, and I believe it's on our board. But we can be found at Halos, which is capital HAL, little OS, Help After Loss, halos.org or at AOL.com.
All right, perfect. Well, I want to thank you ladies so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you ladies
Thank
do.
you.
Thank
You
you.
bet. Thanks.
For those of you who might have missed those details, Halos Incorporated invites the community to an open house on May 28th from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Hub, 146 Main Street in Afton. Halos is dedicated to supporting children and families through times of crisis, trauma, or loss, helping them reclaim well-being and a sense of belonging in society. In addition to counseling, Halos provides foster care services, a monthly arts for wellness program guided by an art therapist, a grief camp on Flag Day, and a bike ride with games and snacks for children on June 21st at the Afton Fairgrounds. For more information, you can visit Halos Inc. on Facebook. And we're now